Major country has changed everything for gold. Prepare for blastoff. Political elites are in a panic, and the scramble to control the situation has got the White House biting their nails because it is just a matter of months before this spreads throughout the region. I'm going to show you why you're going to want to dump everything and put it into a safe store of wealth. This is from TBS News, and the headline reads, Saudi Arabia's petrodollar exit global finance paradigm shift. The petrodollar system as we know it is over, and this is shaking the strength of the dollar to its core, and you know that impacts the price of gold. Let's start. This article says the crucial decision to not renew the contract enables Saudi Arabia to sell oil and other goods in multiple currencies, including the Chinese RMB, euros, yen, yuan, instead of exclusively in US dollars. Additionally, the potential use of digital currencies like Bitcoin may also be considered. This article says that significant financial upheaval is potential ahead of the financial world as Saudi Arabia has decided not to renew its 80-year petrodollar deal with the United States. The deal, which expired last Sunday, was a cornerstone of the United States' global economic dominance. This is really being understated. I mean, this is what has initially put the dollar on its pedestal and kept it there while everyone just stared up in awe at this move that happened 75, 80 years ago. And ever since then, really, dollar has been king. So this is just earth-shaking that Saudi Arabia has pulled this. Talk about a rug pull. This is the ultimate rug pull. Let's keep going. The article says, originally signed on June 1974, the deal established two joint commissions, one based on economic cooperation and the other on Saudi Arabia's military needs. At the time, it was said that it heralded an era of close cooperation between the two countries. Now, America's officials at the time expressed optimism that the deal would motivate Saudi Arabia to ramp up its oil production. They also envisioned it as a blueprint for fostering economic collaboration between Washington and other Arab countries. Now, as we know, the dollar became assured. Yes, it was. We could say that it started with a move of cooperation, but the dollar became a weapon, and to this day is used as a weapon. Other countries, I'm confident, are applauding and high-fiving Saudi Arabia for doing this because nobody wants to be under the thumb of the United States when the dollar is being weaponized the way it has been weaponized. So this is huge, and the shift is going to first hit gold because when the dollar shakes like this, gold gets a nice bump because people lose faith in the dollar and they don't see it as a safe store of wealth. They don't see treasuries as safe, and so they move to gold. And when that happens, of course, we have a bit of a lag, but silver gets its bump in price. So this is all going to impact our precious metals that we stack. Let's keep going. The article says the crucial decision to not renew the contract enables Saudi Arabia to sell oil and other goods in multiple currencies, including the RMB, euros, yen, and yuan, instead of the US dollar. This latest development signifies a major shift away from the petrodollar system that was established in 1972 when the US decoupled its currency from gold and is anticipated to hasten the global shift away. Now, here comes CBDC, because this is the article again, in a more recent move, Saudi Arabia has announced its involvement in Project Enbridge. And this has been coming for quite some time, and it's not just Saudi Arabia, it's other countries working on this. Project Enbridge, a project which explores a multi-central bank digital currency shared among participating central banks and commercial banks. It is built on distributed ledger technology. It's called DLT to enable instant cross-border payments, settlements, and foreign exchange transactions. Now, members of the BRICS nations have been building up towards this and working towards this because this is their way out from the dollar. The article says the project has more than 26 observing members, including the South African Reserve Bank, which was green-lighted as a member this month. The better-known observing members of Enbridge are those of Israel, Namibia, France, Central Bank of Bahrain, Central Bank of Egypt, Central Bank of Jordan. Now, how this is going to play out for the power of the U.S. throughout the globe is not. I don't see this necessarily as a destructive hit to the dollar, but what it will do is it will show developing countries that they might have a path to support their country outside of the dollar. And when developing countries see that, that gives the BRICS nations more authority and more of an appeal. By the way, if you're enjoying this video, please hit like, please hit subscribe. It really helps to get this information out there. So it's not a direct takedown of the United States, but what it does do is it shows another path for developing nations rather than being into debt, falling into debt with payment plans that they've gone into with the United States over the past 80 years. And every developed country has been stuck in that, forcing their countries to become export economies and following the whims of multinational corporations. So this gives countries who are still stuck in that cycle, it gives them a path out. And yes, of course, it does give a big knock to the dollar that is on its pedestal. And as this plays out, we are going to first see uncertainty, because whenever there's uncertainty in the global economy, whenever there's disruption like this is certainly disruption. Whenever there's disruption and uncertainty on this level, it always comes down to precious metals, because precious metals are always the true safe store of wealth. And history shows that when we see a disruption like this, people are going to pull from their risky investments. They're going to pull those funds out and they're going to put it into precious metals. And we will see, look, 8 to 10 weeks ago, when we first saw, maybe almost 3 months ago, when we saw the first bump in gold price that got us to break $2,000, much of that was a result of China stockpiling gold for 18 months straight, just stockpiling gold. And that clearly impacted the price of gold and gave it a big bump. Now, this is going to be the next hit that will knock gold into a realm that we really never saw coming.